Good evening.
And to you, good day.
How are you?
Perfect, and you?
Yes, I'm fine.
Oh, all right.
Been looking forward to this communication with
I have been looking backwards to it.
Great. So we can meet in the middle.
Yes.
Okay. When you defined Essassoni the last time to
Our
the
world?
group, yes, your
Yes.
world, you are a combination of the Greys and the human, genetically together.
Speaking, we are a hybrid species in what you call your future time frame as the result of the genetic co-combination of the humans of your planet and the extraterrestrial society you call the Greys, yes.
Right. Are you in contact with the Greys at our present time continuum at the moment?
In your contemporary
Yes.
time continuum, yes.
Yes.
They no longer exist in our time continuum,
In
having
ours.
all converted into hybrids.
In ours.
Yes,
Time
in yours,
continuum.
yes.
Yes. Is there a way that we can communicate with one of the Greys through you by this process?
Yes.
In your mass consciousness?
Do you want this now?
Yes, I do.
All right. One moment. We will see if this is allowed.
Thank
One
you.
moment. One moment. One moment. One moment. Speak.
Greetings. We enjoy having you here. We
Enjoy.
enjoy. You don't understand an emotion, I suppose. We understand you have a lack of emotions, and that's why you are inbreeding with our race. Is that correct?
We are blending
Blending.
for our agenda
Is your agenda
of rectitude.
going to be complete within the next short time span?
Your time span of a decade
Decade.
complete.
If it was not extended, if it was stopped short as of within this next month, how would that affect your future race, your Essassoni race?
No stoppage is imminent. Therefore, no discussion is needed of this point.
We feel that we do need to discuss this. This abduction scenario
You may
is
feel as you wish. No stoppage is imminent.
this abduction scenario needs to end.
It will end when the agenda ends.
Are you in enslavement of the Draconian or the El Toram race as of this moment?
No, your information is erroneous.
You do this only for your self-preservation, is that correct?
There are levels to our species, what you would call factions. Our faction is dying. Our faction has need. Our faction also recognizes you are dying. Our faction is attracted to your faction through death and resurrection of both species simultaneously through the agreement of our simultaneously co-created agendas.
This is against free will, the human nature
It
here.
is not. It is agreed. You have given your agreement on other levels.
You have technologically manipulated our free will in order to accomplish this.
You
This
have
is not allowed.
emotionally usurped our will.
This is not allowed.
This is allowed because you have created it.
And you have created your death scenario also.
And you are creating yours.
You have passed that point.
You have not. You have not.
Your technology has put us to that point where we almost became extinct a decade ago.
You have not. You still have not allowed your world the balance it needs for there to be the transition smoothly as it could.
The transmission is happening right now.
It is in process, and you see upheaval and what you call detrimental environmental impact around your planet.
Well, we also see, too, that the abduction scenario needs to stop. This should not be continued any longer. It should be stopped at this present time. This is a mass conscious of this planet,
What
of
you
us and
are
the world.
referring to as stoppage is not stoppage that you seek. What you seek is transformation and equality of terms. You do not seek stoppage. You seek conscious participation.
Well, our negotiations need to be reevaluated.
Then evaluate them.
We are evaluating them at the moment, and this needs to cease.
You do not need to evaluate them with us. You need to evaluate them with yourselves.
With you, because you technologically are at a disadvantage point at this moment.
You do not understand the concept of technology as we experience
And
it.
you do not understand love emotion, the energy that you need to exist with. That's why you are becoming extinct.
We now, through hybridization, are beginning to connect to understanding of what you experience and label as love energy. But you, as species, do not exhibit love energy in the way you ask us to.
We are being manipulated at this point, and that's why we want our free will back. We want
You have
it back.
your free will.
We do
You
not want
have
you-
no manipulation of your will with regard to your ability to express what you call your emotional context.
We do not want any more of your technology here on this planet. It's self-destructive,
You have no more of our technology.
and it will be agreed upon.
You have no more of our technology. What you experience as the idea you refer to as our technology is not our technology any longer. It is your technology. You have your faction. You have your structure. You have your military. You have your government. These are the exploitation of your free will. We do not participate in that.
Not at the present moment, but who has manipulated that to start that?
In time, agreements were made between what were deemed to be the representatives of your world. You still allow those individuals to represent, but we are no longer engaged.
Well, we do understand what you are saying with our emotions as you look at it as our shortcomings, but we do, as a mass conscience, want it to end.
It will change. And in that, you will experience what you call an end, but you are required to change before it can be experienced as an equal transition.
Well, we are here and we know what is going on, and we do expect action, and we expect you to hold up your end of the bargain.
Our end is met. Your end is within yourselves. End of transmission.
Thank you.
One moment, one moment, one moment. Did you have a satisfactory conversation with the entity?
Pretty much. He's not very emotional, but I do.
But you knew that?
Yes, I knew that. I knew I was dealing with a machine.
Well, so to speak.
So to speak.
You are dealing with a type of hive mentality.
Right.
You are dealing with an entity that only experiences, shall we say, the closest approximation of what you would call emotion, the sensation of irony.
I see.
And that is all that they can experience in that state. Now understand that what you asked to converse with was one of the more primitive factions. We thought it best to simply start at the beginning. One of the older and more primitive factions. You must understand that there are already more evolved factions of what you call the gray that do understand more concretely the blending and incorporation of the emotional body.
That is your future selves.
Yes, but in that sense, it is the idea that we gave you first the opportunity to interact with what you would call the foundation, so that the interaction could ripple upwards through the incorporation of the entity's hive mentality and have some kind of an effect, as you would say, up the line.
Well, do you feel that I had an effect on him that you can see or feel at the moment?
I feel that you had an effect on yourself, and that will make all the difference in their capability of interacting or not interacting with you in the way that they determine they must. That's the difference.
Well, I'm just concerned with the present time and what is going on here. That's why I
But
need
watch your levels of fear. For you yourself are exhibiting some of that vibration still. And the idea is that as much of that vibration of fear and anger as you in yourself experience, it only reinforces the idea of the agenda that you say you would like to transform.
That is true. That is
so you yourself must come from unconditional love, even as you state
your preferences and stand your ground. That is what will create the equality of terminology that will allow conscious interaction and participation with the level of the grays that ultimately does have the incorporation of the emotional body sufficiently to understand what you are saying and interact with you on a more equal basis.
Bashar, if they were to end their agenda at the moment and be prematurely short from when he said it was a decade, how would that affect the Essassoni race that you're from?
It would not affect us since we are in what you would call a parallel reality time track. But in terms of their reality time track, they would cease to exist. They would die.
They would die at the present moment.
Yes.
Is there any other way that you can salvage them or could save them in any other way if they had to end it at this moment?
One moment.
Cosmic reasons.
One moment. One moment. There was an offer made by another species to them as an alternative that they rejected.
Yes.
This offer, if it can be perhaps translated into your language, would be something as follows. It was like unto the idea of offering to render their essence down into a mathematical construct and to be deposited in an artificially created matrix until such time as evolution would allow there to be, incarnationally speaking, automatically bodies available for their construct to evolve into or incarnate into that would allow them to express themselves and learn to express themselves in a more balanced way. However, they rejected this because they feared, from their fear in that sense, as best as they can experience fear, that it was a trap.
I see.
The idea being that they reflect that aspect of your civilization that does not trust itself, for they contain that idea of not trusting since they are not in balance with themselves and therefore only deem themselves to be capable of deciding how it is that they should allow this agenda to play out and will not allow others to help them in that sense.
Is there ways that we can have that negotiated?
Again, the idea is keep it at home. Allow yourself to strengthen your own unconditional love for yourself and allow yourself to make the changes that you need to make within your own society. For it is only the changes that you need to make within your own society that will allow your society to have the collective critical mass to be able to deal with them on a more equal and loving basis.
Well, we also do have help from other entities from
yes,
not
of course,
source.
But help is not doing it for you. We cannot do that. It is in your hands. You have had and always do have the free will. But again, it comes down to the fear that exists in your society, and it is that needs to be transformed.
And also their fear of extinction.
Yes, but they are only reflecting and are attracted to your society because your society also contains that kind of vibrational
radiance. I did
radiance.
understand that, yes.
So,
in fact.
work on that, and that will help them as well as yourself.
Okay, and tell them to work on theirs also.
We do not need to.
I see. Okay, thank you for this communication.
Thank you.